After a crash, the insurance company is gonna get you on the telephone. They're gonna be nice, they're gonna be kind, they're gonna be polite, they're gonna act like they're being very reasonable, and they're probably even gonna act concerned about your well-being. But then, they're gonna record everything. In this video, I'm gonna tell you the things to avoid saying before you pick up the phone with that insurance adjuster. Trust me, doing these things have cost good people lots of money. The first thing to remember when you are getting on this very first phone call with the insurance company is that they are going to try to rush you through this process. They're gonna want you to talk about a lot of things about this crash. And what I want you to do is avoid those things initially, okay? So I'm gonna use that kind of as the overarching idea about this here is to really think about, I am not going to rush. I'm not going to be in a hurry. I want that to be your kind of overall game plan when you're going into this first call with the insurance company. The first thing I want you to do, remain calm and stay polite. That's number one. Those are very important. You don't want to let them get you agitated. You don't want to let them get you frustrated. You just want to remain calm and polite, especially in this very first conversation, because you are kind of setting the stage for what the adjuster is going to think about you in the future and how trustworthy you might be when they're trying to resolve this case. The second thing is it's kind of counterintuitive, but I don't want you to give any details to these folks about the crash. I want you to give them kind of the basics, what your name is, where the crash happened, what type of day, what kind of day it was, maybe where the car got towed from. But I want you to avoid giving any kind of crazy details about what happened. You are still investigating this case. The investigation for you is still ongoing. You don't know what witnesses might say. You don't know what the officer is going to say about the crash. So you need to keep those things kind of held back for a period of time while you're getting treatment and things are going kind of processing forward. And the next thing I want you to avoid is I want you to avoid discussion of any injuries. And that probably goes without saying from that previous note, but I don't want you to start talking about your injuries yet. You don't need to do that. You don't even know what's wrong. I mean, this phone call that you're getting on with them could be within hours of your car crash. It could be after you just left the hospital, or you might not even gotten to the hospital yet. And so you don't even know what your injuries are. You probably won't know what your injuries are for days, if not weeks, and maybe even months. And so that first phone call with them, don't talk about what hurts. Don't talk about what your pain is. Don't talk about where you're going to the hospital right now. Just keep it very curt, short, sweet, and to the point, and just give them information they need to kind of open their claim and start the process. Because if you start to talk about your injuries, you're probably going to leave something out. And they're definitely going to hold that against you in the future. So keep that information at a minimum during that first phone call. The next thing I want you to do is take lots of notes, all right? Every time you talk to the adjuster, every single time, make a note. Talk about what you said, talk about what they said. Keep a record of all of those things, because if you don't, you're not going to remember what's going on in that first conversation. You won't remember what happened in the second conversation 2 weeks, 3 months, or 6 months from now. And the reason why I want you to take notes is because if you do have to go to court, or when you are putting together your demand letter 6 months from now or 8 months from now, you want to be able to remember exactly what was going on in your life during that period of time, exactly what the insurance adjuster said, so that you can use that to prove your case. Because if you forget, and the likelihood is that you may forget what's going on at this moment in time, you have your own writings that can refresh your memory about what actually was going on after the crash, what was really in pain, what was really hurting, what really ticked you off about what they said. Those things are going to matter later on when you're trying to prove your case, either bringing it to a lawyer or bringing it to a separate adjuster or the same adjuster later. The next thing I want you to do, and it's going to be hard, especially if you don't feel like you're hurt at this moment in time. The thing I want you to do is resist any temptation to settle your case right away. It's going to be very difficult when the insurance adjuster lays out a very reasonable offer. We're going to pay your medical bills, and here's $1,000 for your pain and suffering. It sounds very reasonable, and they're going to say it very politely, but I want you to resist every temptation to do that. because you just don't know what's going on with your body right now. If this is within the first 24 hours of the crash or even the first week of the crash, you just don't know what's happening with your body. There could be a small soreness that actually is a major injury. It could be a torn labrum. It could be a herniated disc. There's a multitude of things that could be hiding underneath all of that adrenaline that is pumping through your body right now. And the last thing I want you to do in this process is kind of lay out the groundwork for your future communications with the insurance company. Don't let them continue to call you every 24 hours and offer you money and continue to pester you while you're getting treatment or while you're trying to call witnesses or figure out what's going on. Don't let them do that to you. I want you to set the groundwork with them and say, hey, from here on out, I want us to communicate in writing. And that could be, you might write an actual letter that prints out for your printer, or you could email them back and forth. It doesn't matter. But you want to lay out the groundwork with them so they're not continually calling you while you're at work or while you're at physical therapy. That way you can cut off that communication and really narrowly tailor how you want to communicate with them in a way that's advantageous for you or that works for you, right? And you tell them, listen, when I finish my investigation, when I finish my treatment, I'm going to put together a demand package and I will send it to you. Until then, I want you to communicate with me via writing, and that is it. That will solve a lot of your problems going forward, or it will prevent you from saying the wrong thing over the telephone that may or may not sink your case and cost you thousands when you're trying to resolve your case in the future.